Hello everyone and welcome to the Good Old Gamer. So over the past few months or so, we've really been taking a good look at the RTX 2080 Ti, and I've been super impressed with that graphics card. Rumors have been circulating that it would perform similar, or at least in the ballpark, to a stock RTX 3080. Now, I don't have an RTX 3080 on hand yet. That might happen eventually, but I do have an RX 6800. Now, this guy right here is about on par with a 3080 when going stock for stock, right? So I wanted to compare that to an overclocked RTX 2080 Ti. Now, this is the one we've been using on the live streams. This holds a couple of world records with the 4770K and a few other graphics cards, but I want to see how close this can get to the RX 6800 XT. Now, granted, this is also going to be overclocked. So we're going to see the best of these two graphics cards going head to head here today. But first,
in the near future past of 1997, the AI scourge destroys humanity. And today we need your help to fight the onslaught of the inevitable AI scourge wiping us all out. We have a sponsor here that can help save the whole world. Today's video sponsor, VIP urcdkey, are offering 25% off of Windows 10 and Microsoft Office activation keys. And science has proven that the not activated Windows is what leads to the creation of our new and future AI overlords. So use the link in the description below, get 25% off using promo code UKGG, and you can get 25% off your Windows license keys and Microsoft Office keys. And then go ahead, if you don't already know, just type activate in your search bar, go ahead and change your CD key, and boom, you're done. And you, my friend, are on the way of fighting the AI machine that seems inevitable at this point without your help. And now future Chris here is gonna get back into the fight. Die, Roomba, die!
now, I'm not gonna lie, I really had fun making that ad right there. I know it's just a CD key ad, but if you do need a Windows key, it's a good deal. It's the site that I use, so go ahead and check them out. But man, did I have fun making that one. I was like up all night the night before. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed that and didn't skip it. If you did, go back. I spent a lot of time on that one. It was a lot of fun making, and it's pretty funny. Okay, so anyway, let's go ahead and just get right into the performance here. So taking a look at 1440p, we can see that the RX 6700 or 6800 XT rather is actually a good bit faster. How much faster? Well, on average, it comes out at 21% faster. And that's not unexpected, which I will go over here in just a little bit. But overall, the RX 6800 XT is really showing off well, at least in these 5 titles. Now, let's take a look at 4K real quick. And as we can see here, the gap actually widens, which is very interesting. So in the games tested, you can see that the RX 6800 XT is a decent bit ahead in this particular setup. But how much faster? On average, across these titles, we see the 1% lows coming in at 33% higher. That's actually a very nice jump up. Personally, I don't consider either of these to be 4K cards, but the RX 6800 XT is making a pretty good show here. So alrighty guys, taking a look at that, obviously it's just 5 games. I ran through this pretty quick. I was just curious to see how close that these cards actually were. So, like I said, looking at those performance differences, you might be going, wow, the RX 6800 XT is a lot faster. Well, it is. And if we really break it down, let's take a look at the actual specs of these graphics cards. So the RTX 2080 Ti comes in with 68 SMs, that's the streaming multiprocessors from Nvidia. So that's basically how many cores it has. It has 68, and this is running at 2100 megahertz. So that's what the RTX 2080 Ti is bringing to the table. The RX 6800 XT has 72 CUs, which is the AMD equivalent of SMs. The RX 6800 XT was clocked at a minimum of 2500 megahertz and a maximum of 2600 megahertz, and on average, it hit right in between at the 2550. When we do the math on that, that means the clock speed is actually 21% higher, which really aligns with the 1440p numbers that we were seeing. Now, this means that the 4K numbers were actually kind of an outlier. How did they get the extra performance there? Well, at 4K, this is where things like VRAM start to matter. As I mentioned, I really wouldn't recommend either of these cards for 4K gaming, but if you're gonna do it anyway, having that 16 gigabytes of VRAM obviously is helping out, because in reality, there's not a whole lot extra there. There's really no other reason why it would be performing extra fast without hitting a VRAM limitation. Now, of course, if you have an RTX 2080 Ti, you can lower your texture settings a little bit further if you wanted to. That would alleviate that. And then the RX 6800 XT would just be that 20% faster. And in reality, that's a pretty good showing. It really shows that the RDNA 2 architecture caught all the way up. Now, granted, we're talking about Turing, but Ampere was really no different SM to SM. Architecturally, they're all pretty much the same. Obviously, they just got faster with more power, higher clock speed, and just having more SMs. That's basically what Nvidia has been doing. AMD did a really good job with RDNA 2 catching on up. And in reality, if you are in the market and you're looking for what I would consider to kind of be today's entry-level graphics cards, the RTX 2080 Ti is definitely in that tier. So if we were running a stock RX 6800 XT, which is at 2.2 gigahertz-ish, mine runs at about 2.4. If you take away that clock speed, they're going to be roughly the same. The RX 6800 XT would be slightly faster. So right now on eBay, you can get RTX 2080 Ti's for about $300 to $350. You can get an RX 6800 XT used for about $400 to $450. So it's about $100 more. That comes in at being about 33% more expensive. You get about 20% faster. Depending on your use case, which one makes more sense for you? If you want to save a few bucks, get the 2080 Ti. If you want the higher performance, go ahead and get the 6800 XT, and you have the extra VRAM. So there's kind of benefits to going with either one. Save money and get all the Nvidia features, or get the extra VRAM. Now, the added benefit to the RX 6800 XT is you could still buy those new. So if you are interested in picking one of those up and you want new, you want the warranty, you want all of that stuff, you can go ahead and do that right now. They're coming in at about $500, $550 in that range, depending on sales and deals. So that's one of the added benefits to going with the AMD graphics card, is you have more options. But once again, you do lose out on the Nvidia features. So in reality, I can actually recommend both cards. It really just depends on you and what your use case is. Both cards are great. Both of them are going to do fantastic for 1440p and absolutely crush it at 1080p. So if you're on 1440p or lower, these should be your go-tos. Personally, I would skip the 6700 series. Honestly, they're just not fast enough for the games that are coming out. And in reality, for an extra like $50 to $100, the 2080 Ti is significantly faster. So you're going to be much better off with that. And you don't even lose much VRAM. You lose 1 gigabyte. So there's really no downside. And you get a lot more memory bandwidth. So I would definitely take a 2080 Ti over something like a 6700 XT, an RTX 3060 Ti, RTX 3070, and even an RTX 3070 Ti. Why? Because you're going to get faster performance-ish. Maybe they'll be about tied overall, but you're going to get higher memory bandwidth with the 2080 Ti, and you're going to go ahead and get that extra VRAM, so this way you don't have to turn down settings. And for effectively the same money, to me, it's basically a no-brainer. You also lose out on no features. Sorry, guys, if this was shaking. The cat was snuggling my tripod. But in terms of the feature set, you're not really going to be missing out on anything. It's Ampere and Turing basically have the same stuff. So that's actually the main benefit to going with the 2080 Ti over the Ampere graphics cards at a similar price point. More VRAM, faster, and yeah, in terms of power consumption, it's roughly the same as well. So you're not missing out on pretty much anything. So I'd definitely pick that up if you want to go used. And then obviously the 6800 XT has the benefit of being both faster while also being offered at new. And of course, there are affiliate links down below if you do want to pick any of these graphics cards up. And I do have some suggestions for builds in there as well if you want to know what my recommendations are. It's basically only 3 tier of PC in my opinion. You have budget, super budget, bargain hunter, then you have your mainstream, and then you have the high end. And literally everything in between is just noise. So if you're interested in my thoughts and you're interested in picking anything up down there that helps support the channel, you can also help support the channel by smashing that like button. That really does help. YouTube does not like people just coming out telling the truth. So if you could smash that like button, that is one of the most powerful things that you can do to help out. Of course, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all the YouTube stuff, and make sure you subscribe over on the Techonomics podcast. Links are down below. On that channel, I go live every Monday with Paul from Not an Apple Fan. We do have guests on occasionally. It's a lot of fun. We just kind of shoot the breeze. So it's just kind of a more chill atmosphere. So alrighty guys, that's going to do it here today. Once again, if you liked the video, smash the like button. But that's really all I have for you here today. I'll catch you guys in the next video.